And this seemed to work for a few days. However, the amount of fruit again began to reduce. And so the father decided to go back and see these children of the farmer in the evening and find out why they were taking more food and more fruit than they had been allowed. To his amazement, when he got into the garden that evening, there were not only 3 children, but there were now 10. And then he spoke to the children and said, "Who are these other 7 children that I hear collecting fruit?" And the children began to explain, "These other 4 children are actually from another neighboring farm. They also have gone through hard times because of a drought. And since they heard that there is food in these gardens, they too have come here to try and get some way of livelihood." And so the father was now sitting with a big dilemma. Not only was he having to share the fruit that he had worked so hard for with his children, but he had to share all these resources with the children of so many other men. And so he thought to himself, I need to go to my children and go and talk to them and see how we can apportion our resources so that all the children who are coming from different places might also have food to eat. So he went the next morning, he gathered his family and he tried to explain this to them. His children were very upset and they said to him, "Father, you are our father. Your first and primary responsibility is to look after us and no one else. If you do not prioritize our well-being over the well-being of someone else's children, then we are actually going to look for another father and take you away from your position of authority over us." And now so the father was in a dilemma. Does he follow his heart as a father and want to take care of all these other children? Or does he focus on looking after his own children only? And so he thought to himself, let me take a day to think about it and get a solution. So that night he decided not to go to the garden, but rather to sleep and rest and ponder upon the problem that he had. Whilst he was sleeping, he was awoken by the sounds of screaming. He rushed to the garden to try and find out what the commotion was. And to his utter amazement, he found his own children beating, killing, and burning the children of the farmer and the other lands in the garden. And he tried to stop his children, and he said to them, "I have not raised you to be murderers. I have not raised you to beat and to kill people." And the children said, "Father, we are going hungry. We are desperate. If you are not willing to look after us, we will take the law into our own hands and we will kill anyone who is coming to take our food." And so the father separated his children from the children of the farmer and the children of all the other places who had also come to eat in his garden. Now my question to you is, what should this man do? Should he A, look after his own children, because that is his primary responsibility, close off his borders, build higher walls, and just ignore the fate of all the other children who will be standing behind those walls? B, should he risk the love, the favor, and the support of his own children by welcoming all these hungry children into his garden and trying to find a way of spreading his declining resources and sharing them with everyone else? Or C, should he be brave enough to go and see the farmer who helped him before and confront him and tell him that because he is not looking after his own children, the burden of looking after his children has become his? I leave you with a question.